Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 Mafia bosses that I know very well. More importantly, I want to tell you about the influence that these guys had on me, on the Cosa Nostra lifestyle, and the influence that we had on each other. Let's start with someone that not a lot of people talk about, Nicky Scarfo. Here's an interview with his old underboss where Philly talks about Nicky.
How bad does he want you?
I guess I would never be dead enough for him, Forrest. If he could keep killing me, he would be a happy guy.
And killing came easy to Nicky Scarfo. Just 140 pounds, 5 feet 5 in platform shoes. Scarfo was best known for one thing: murder. He ordered dozens of hits. And when it came to killing, Nicky Scarfo had his own special approach. Enjoy your work and make sure people know you're there.
Like in the old days, he would like to kill people right in the street. Like James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart and all them guys. Right in the street, blast them, broad daylight, anytime. And that's how he'd like to do things.
Right out there for everybody to see.
That's right.
Why?
He was a mob boss, and that's what he wanted everybody to know he was.
I didn't know he did it to that extent. I know he was trigger happy, and I lost his fucking mind when he took over. Everything started to bother him, and he was killing people left and right. Phil's right. He just was out there. He lost his mind. He was the boss of Philadelphia. It was between him and Johnny Keys. After I killed Johnny Keys, he won the war, became the boss. And that's how I became very close and tight with him. He even helped me with another piece of work I did afterwards. I got another contract in Philadelphia to kill a guy named Frankie Steele. And he did it for me. He was a stand-up guy. There's no doubt about it, no question about it. He had balls like an elephant. A couple of times he warned me about John Gotti. And he just didn't seem to like John Gotti. And he thought John Gotti was talking behind my back and stuff like that. And I just blew that off. The guy he went to all the time to come and talk to our boss, Paul Castellano or whatever, was me. I was his go-to guy to come into the Gambino family for meetings. I even had a meeting with him, with Frankie the Chico, before he was killed, and John Gotti and myself in my house. He was comfortable with me. He was barred from the casinos. When I would meet him, I would have to meet him in a hotel. They would take me up to a room. He was in the room. We couldn't go down into the casino. In other words, when you come in, there's a door, and you can go, and there's an elevator that goes up to his rooms. I was able to do that, and he was able to do that. That's how we met. We were both barred. He was barred before I was, but then I became barred from the casinos as well. They barred guys who were bosses, and they do what they want. This is the gaming commission, I guess. And they turn around and use the excuse they're a threat to society. One time when I went out there and we were talking, and he said, "Sammy, how do you make money with these fucking casinos? I can't even get in, I'm barred." I said, "You don't need to go into the casinos. You're not going to make no money. There's gambling commissions there, there's everything. You're controlling unions, you're controlling construction. When they build the buildings, they got to deal with you through the unions." Then he opened up an after-hour club where dealers, women and guys, they would all go there after they'd done work. The place would packed, drinking, stuff like that. And that's what he did. He loved it. He thanked me. He said, "Sammy, I'm making money now with the unions. You were right. I control the unions, the maids, people who pick up the laundry. They have to deal with me. They're stuck. I could put a strike going on and they're dead." So they give me money under the table, but I still can't get in the casino. So you were right. The hell with the casinos. I'm making a ton of money outside. That's where you got to be, outside, and control things from the outside. You can't go in there. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb. I gave him really good advice, so I gave him some stuff. He used it, thanked me for it, and he understood. His power was to control the whole thing from the outside, not the inside. Next guy I'm going to talk about is Gigante, the boss of the Genovese. I met him the first time I was in the construction business, and I was having trouble with the carpenters union in different places. His people were controlling it. I went with Tato. I had a meeting, and he sent me to his brother, Mario Gigante, and who was a captain, and this fat Vinny DiNapoli was with him, and he was controlling the Carpenters Union. He sent word to his brother. When I met with Vinny DiNapoli, he said, Sammy, whatever jobs you have, let me know. You'll never have a problem with the Carpenters Union again. And I was in that business at a drywall company, and that was music to my ears. And I dealt with Chin on a bunch of different occasions. He was a real tough guy. No clowning around, no jokes, no nothing like that. Very serious. You couldn't even say his name. His name was Vincent Gigante. He told everybody, if you get caught saying my name, Vincent Gigante, I'll kill you. He said, when you refer to me, you go like this, you touch your chin, or you say the chin, because that's not my real name, and people in court, I have a shot of beating the case. He always had that pressure, knowing he was going to get pinched. So that's how he gave that name. But he was very fair. He understood Cosa Nostra very, very well.
Despite his conviction, Salerno remains unrepentant.
You got something to say, Tony? Thank you.
If Salerno's an unlikely multimillionaire godfather, what do you think of the guy in the bathrobe? Visible through the open doorway of his storefront clubhouse, we secretly filmed Vincent the Chin Gigante, sitting at a card table facing the street. Although he looks more like a frail pensioner, Gigante is actually one of the most powerful mafia captains in the country. The feds say he's the one who's taken over for the imprisoned Salerno. What's this convicted dope dealer worth? Millions. From construction, gambling, loan sharking, labor racketeering, and the record business. Why does he wear slippers and a bathrobe in the middle of the day? They say it's all part of his act, to appear totally out of it so the cops will stop tailing him.
One day the FBI came to his house. His mother was there. He ran in the house. He ran upstairs, took off all his clothes, got an umbrella, opened up the shower, and stood under the shower with an umbrella while his mother came up with the agents. So right in front of his mother, balls ass naked, standing there with an umbrella. And the mother was so well guided, she just said, that's him. Mentally, he's not here. That's my son. So he played this, and the people around him played this very well. And he was nobody to fuck with, but he was a good guy. He was reasonable with a lot of things, as long as it was according to Cosa Nostra. And I always knew that he was sharp as a tack. Every meeting I had, he was extremely smart, sharp as a tack. This whole thing, this crazy thing was an act. In court, if you are legally insane and you can't understand the charges, they can't indict you. And he got away with it for years, for 3, 4 years, 5 years, without getting indicted. And they were all over him. He didn't talk to many people, only the closest people to him or people that he liked. So he wasn't talkative. He wasn't money hungry. He didn't even want guys that he didn't know well to bring him money. So they could never say, I brought him money. He says, I heard him in one meeting, and he said, he was not talking to me, he was talking to somebody else. He says, I got all the money I need. I got so much fucking money, I don't even know where to bury it anymore. So I don't need money from strangers or people I don't like or trust. Only from my inside people. There was a guy, Sally Dogs, was a captain in the family, and came to me one time and he said, Sammy, I was going to, make him money, and I was going to bring Chin money. He wouldn't take it. Am I in trouble? I said, no, he don't take money. He's not, unless you're really, really close. Sally, you do drugs. He's not into drugs. So maybe that's not why he took money from you. Maybe they didn't want it because of that. You better watch out with doing that. You're doing drugs. He's saying don't do drugs. Listen to me, bro. Keep doing drugs, and it gets to his ears. He's liable to just take you the fuck out. You couldn't, sway his thinking with any of that stuff. He was extremely different from Carmine Persico and Nicky Scarfo. If I had to be like anybody, first of all, I would pick Carlo Gambino, but I would pick him. I wouldn't mind being a soldier or a captain under him. I would feel very, very comfortable. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Carmine Persico. Carmine Persico had a nickname, the Snake. This is someone I knew very well. I managed to dig up an old clip from the opening of the Mobsters TV show.
If you cross the snake, you're going to get bitten.
Carmine Persico is the Mafia Don that all the others feared.
Carmine killed one of his opponents, beat him to death with his hands.
They didn't call Carmine the Snake for nothing. Carmine was a scumbag to a lot of guys.
The best words to describe Carmine Persico would be a leech, something that attaches itself to an organism and just sucks the life out of it.
Instead of creating a dynasty, he unleashed a debacle. He virtually destroyed the family.
Now that's the best words, listening to that, the best words that these guys said. Instead of becoming the boss of the family and creating an empire, he destroyed the whole family out of his need for power and greed, especially greed. That's how he got the name The Snake. He would double-cross his mother. There's no limits to what he did and would do. I was originally with him. I was with Shorty Spiro, and directly under him, he gave me a contract to beat up some guy who was fucking somebody's wife. And when he gave me the contract to go beat the guy up, he says, bring me back his ear. When we walked out of the place and I got in the car with Shorty, I said, bro, I'll give the guy a beat and cut his ear off. Is that what he really wants? He said, that's what he said. I didn't do that. I hit him when he was trying to get up. I hit him with a blackjack. He went down. Then I hit him when he was trying to get up on the hand, and I knocked one of his fingers off. I jumped over the counter to try to get the finger to bring it back to him. When I got back there, I thought I was in trouble. But he came out, he talked to me, started laughing. He had somebody on the inside there. And he says, I know what you did. I know you knocked his finger off. I know you tried to get it and you hit somebody else to get out. He said, you did a great job. So I did my first piece of work under Carmine Persico, Joe Colucci. He was as vicious as they come. He wasn't well-liked at all. He had a brother, Alphonse Persico, was his older brother. The guy did 20-something years in prison on a murder. The guy who ratted him out, they waited 20-something years, and then they killed the guy. Everything was kill, 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 beat this guy up, kill this guy, all kinds of shit like that. And that's what he made his family into, a kill machine. And that shows you the sign of a guy. A lot of guys, bosses, they didn't want their families in the Mafia. They wanted better things for their families. I didn't want my kids in the Mafia, my son. I wanted better things. Like you see Marlon Brando in The Godfather when he says, I didn't want this for you. I wanted you to be a senator, a congressman, a lawyer, whatever. That's what we want. We know what you're going to go through. You're going to kill somebody. You're going to get killed. You're going to go to prison. Why would I want that for my son? Or other people, why would they want that for family members? But him, they brought their whole family in. John Gotti did the same thing. His brothers, his cousins, his son-in-law, everybody brought them in. That's looking for more power around you. And that's the guy who's real greedy. He don't care who you are. He brings you in because there's power. He destroyed his family as well. Most of the guys went down. Some guys were going to rebel. Sally Ebenise and guys like that. He found out, he killed them right away. I'll give you another example. He was in prison, and he had a farm upstate, and he was reading a newspaper or a magazine about buying farm equipment and stuff like that. One of his best friends died of a heart attack in the prison. And somebody went over and says, Carmine, I forgot the guy's name. Let's call him Frankie. Frankie just died. He got a heart attack. He said, we all die. And he kept reading the thing, and he said, look at this. He didn't even care. And this is one of his closest friends. So that's Carmine in a nutshell. So what these guys were saying about him was 100% true. Not only him, but Nicky Scarfo. There was things that he did I wouldn't do. I learned not to do those things. And I saw what happened to him. And I saw what happened to Carmine Persico. And you learn from people who are smart and good, and you learn from people who are stupid and do ugly stuff. So you have your choice how you're going to grow in the mob. I have my choice, and it wasn't Nicky Scarfo or Carmine Persico.
You could run into Carlo Gambino on the street when he was around and never know. He would fit in with anybody. You would never know this poor, meek, humble man was the boss of bosses and the boss of one of the biggest crime families in New York, or the biggest crime family. They might call him the old man because he was getting on in years, but he definitely dominated all the families. Nobody could get away with anything.
Well, when I got transferred out of the Colombo family, I was transferred to the Gambino family. I met Carlo Gambino. Beautiful guy. Everybody loved him. He gave everybody a shot, an opportunity. He wasn't bloodthirsty. I was with a captain, Toto Warello, under him. And Toto Warello told me something that I remember clearly today. We could always use violence, but as a last resort. So they weren't bloodthirsty. They were thinking about unions, construction, making money. And they gave people, they loved the neighborhood. They were gentle. They were caring about people. So that's the road I took, was Carlo Gambino and Toto Warello. I preferred that. I was under Paul. Paul was a good guy too. He was more gentle with things. Carlo Gambino used to drive a broken down car. And he was super fucking wealthy and the boss for years and years and years. His kids, Tommy Gambino and them, they bought the father a new car. Beautiful Cadillac, brand new. He had the car 2 weeks and he called Tommy Gambino in. And he said, get rid of this car and give me my old car. So they said, why? It's a beautiful car. He said, that's just the problem. It's beautiful. And everybody looks at it. I'm not supposed to be seen. I'm invisible. Nobody looked at me with my old shitty car. Now everybody looks. Get rid of this car. And they got rid of the car and they got him an old car. Not the same one, but another one that wasn't the car that you would look at. So they handled themselves different, people. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Paul Castellano. This is a clip I found, what kind of a guy he was like. I saw the clip. I knew him that way. I knew the story that this guy is saying on the clip. I'll make you hear the clip. But I knew the story, and I knew it was true.
Big Paul certainly shared that view of himself. He demanded respect and was not above using his powers of intimidation to make that point, even to total strangers.
He drove his wife to a supermarket one day, and he said some young thug kind of kids cut him off and screamed at him out the car and gave him gestures, the profane gestures with their hands and all. And he quietly took down the plate and then sent some young men in his organization over to get these kids, and they brought them to the house. And he said, you know who I am now? So they said yes, and they were trembling and they were frightened. He said, nobody's going to hurt you. I just want you to know that if you see an old man driving in a car, you shouldn't think that it's okay to make profane gestures. You better never do it again. And they were frightened to death, and he let them out of the house. But that was Paul Castellano. Some of the others might have given him a beating or physically abused him or done worse.
He took the plate, the kid's plate. When he got back, he got Tommy Bellotti, who was a captain. They had connections in security companies, and they got who the kid was. They brought him to the house. And when they brought the kid to the house, that kid was shitting his pants. He realized that who Paul Castellano was. He must have been told on the way there. And he told the kid, he said, don't be nervous. I'm not going to hurt you. But I'm going to tell you that you can't just drive around with doing that to people, old people. I'm an old man. You see old people, you get abusive, you want to stick your finger out. You never know who you're doing that to. Now, I'm not going to hurt you. Maybe the next guy will. Leave it as a lesson in life. Have manners and don't do that. The kid was happy and he left the fucking house. He tried to teach the kid right from wrong, rather than hurting him. Now, in that video, they say that They give him credit because another boss like Gotti or Carmine Persico, that kid would have got his arms and legs broken for doing that. So that's the difference between them. So Paul had a gentle side as well. Not that he gave a lot of orders to kill when it's necessary. You had chances to survive. I got in trouble in that family under him 2 or 3 times that I could have got killed. The Plaza Suite, he said I didn't get in touch with him before the hit. I'm supposed to ask permission. But when he got me and he sat me down and I explained myself to him, he gave me a pass. So there's a few times and a few things, and that's the kind of boss you want to be. If you don't care about nobody but yourself, you're never going to succeed in life, whether it's the mafia, business, no matter what it is. When you're selfish, you're greedy, it'll always come back to hurt you because people will despise you, they'll hate you. If you're not greedy and selfish, and you're willing to be compassionate on occasion, people will love you, they'll respect you. And but he wasn't a street boss. He was more of a racketeer, not a gangster. That was his mistake. And his other mistake is that when he found out that John Gotti and Angelo Virgilio were doing drugs and there was tapes. He wanted the tapes. They refused to give him the tapes. He tried everything to reach his underboss, Neil, to talk to them, give the tapes. They wouldn't give it. Neil told him, give him the tapes. He's the boss. You said bad things on it, not only about him, but other bosses, and you were dealing drugs. It's clear. I'll sit down for you. I'll try and save your life. If you're scared, run. But you're coming to me like you want to kill him. What the fuck did he do? You broke every rule in Cosa Nostra, and you want to kill him. What did he do? You're the one who broke the rules. And went into a war. Paul's mistake was as soon as that happened, he should have struck and wiped John Gotti and his whole crew out. But he didn't. He had a case. He was going back and forth to court. He put it on the side. I'll get to it later. I'll get to it later. John Gotti convinced Frankie DeChico to take Paul out and take over. Frankie DeChico talked to me and persuaded me. We had a few other guys, Joe Piney, a few other people. And he waited too long. And then we made John the boss, John Gotti. And Frankie DeChico, a short time later, was blown up and killed in a car. And there was no control on John Gotti. Dressing like he was some sort of fucking movie star, giving autographs, doing everything you're not supposed to do in the life, let alone being a boss. And all the bosses which I'm talking about, I'm telling you, they all did the same thing. And I grew up with all of them. I saw the difference in every single one of them. Power hungry, greed, not power hungry, not greedy. I grew up with all of them. And I chose to be what Carlo Gambino was, Tato was, what my mother and father were never part of the life, what they were, honest, hard-working people. That's the story of the bosses that I knew and how I grew in the life and what I learned from them and my parents and the life and my family members. You know, I have family members that are good. I got fucking family members that are shit. It's no different than the mafia. It's no different than any other life. I don't know if anybody knows what they would be if they would do something else in their life. Would you be a doctor? Would you be a lawyer? Would you stay in the military your whole life? I don't know. Nobody knows. But what you do know is what you are today. And all those things, whether you liked it or not, good times, bad times, made you what you are today. And I want to continue that way so that my children, my grandchildren, and I even have a great-grandchild, would someday look at it and That's my poppy. I knew what he was. I knew this. I knew that. I hope you get some knowledge from these stories. Who's the good bosses, the bad bosses, what they did, how they were looked at, and how they were treated. So that's why I did this whole thing, the 5 mafia families and bosses and so all of my videos. The lesson is look at all the good and the bad and use it to your advantage and learn from it. If you're a good person, you're going to get better. If you're a bad person and you're going to go along, nobody can stop you from being a bad person. All right, guys, so if you like this video, don't forget, like and subscribe. That's important. And make sure you comment. I look at your comments. I see what you want to hear, what you want to talk about. Sometimes I answer it on my live. Sometimes I answer it directly to you. Now, real quick, I have an announcement. We're doing a big show. It's called Have a Lobster with a Mobster. I'm the mobster. It's got a show. There's a band. There's this, there's that. It's at Stevens Steakhouse, and I'll be there. I'll have some books and pictures to sign, and you have an opportunity. You can meet me. We can shake hands, say hello to each other. Great restaurant. And I guess serving lobster. So make sure you sign up. We'll link in the description. My normal send-off is adios, motherfuckers. So what I'm going to do, and I'm not supposed to say that no more as a born-again Christian, but adios, motherfuckers.